Excited to see what Xiaohu can do on this Syndra, but I'm willing to be proven wrong.
Yeah, it is. He's played it a couple of times. He played it once in one of the wins up against IG. I think it was the fight potentially breaking out here. JJ up on the top side.
I think Zek is too scary.
Yeah, he's fine. He's going to try to start on up these grubs, and Tarzan waiting for a little bit of backup, maybe going to pull the trigger onto Zika. Will find him up against the wall with his supreme display of talent. In comes Flandra with the Void Rush to be able to find that kill. Now Xiaohu next up on the menu. Does get a nice scatter of the week to create himself a little bit of space. JJ flashes in, finds an isolated Shanks, and makes the scoreboard 1-1.
Cassiopeia, I think, as well. Just taking the combat summoner. Realm Warp behind the turret.
Shanks going to be immediately knocked up by the Glacial Fissure, but they're going to take the engage onto Arha, and Arha will be the first and perhaps only person to drop in this fight as the scatter of the week from Shanks.
He does lose the full wave, which does feel bad, but, I mean, if you were going to stay in top lane, you would have died and lost the wave anyway, so should be able to grab some XP at least, which is pretty nice, and you can generate mid-pry. That's kind of the only thing that Lucian does super well towards the late game. He's a really good mid-game skirmisher, but he can constantly generate mid-pry, use the culling to kill the wave, rotate first to objectives. Hope has to cleanse and flash. Is he still dead?
Ooh, Hope. One shot by Xiaohu, and that will be an advantage cross-map, but AL going to try to pull the trigger on the top side.
Arha isn't there. JJ goes over the wall. Instant snap onto Zika, and he falls down.
In here, so Weibo actually find their pathway on in. Tarzan was clearing out his camps, now going to regroup with the rest of the squad. Jumps over the wall, looks for a supreme display of talent, finds it out of 2, bullet time on top, Arha down, and JJ forced to flash away. Flandra coming in on the flank, not even going to have to pull that trigger as Weibo are routed, and it will be AL moving on towards the Dragon.
I love how AL play these team fights. They're playing for small wins. They pick the support. Now there's nothing to stop you from us engaging on you a second time. They're so quick to the punch. They're so
down
quick to
in mid, but they won't quite finish off the tower. And the Baron has spawned, but surely Weibo aren't going to look to start it this early unless they get a lockdown on Tarzan. One shot with all of Weibo's power, and the kill credit goes to Xiaohu. JJ going to get traded onto, though. Hope going to be the one to finish.
Of the comp that they wanted. You know, they wanted it for Jarvan, but Dragon's up. 2 Drakes already over to AL.
Tarzan looking for an angle in. The Dragon taken to about half HP. AL already so ahead in gold, going to look to play for the gold once again here. So that Dragon will be smited on down. That's going to delay their ability to get onto any kind of soul. I really thought that was going to be a trigger pull onto Elk. The snare connects.
This is the well plan to get away. Very nice. Still, no objectives up that are really doable, right? You can't do Baron with an MF at this point. You can't just rip it like they did in Game 1 with a Corki and an Azir. It's just not happening. But even though the gold lead isn't increasing, it's still 5,000 gold. This tower should break eventually. AL have full control over the map. Engage.
Yeah, they are going to use the cease and desist on Flandra, and he will be the first one to fall. A minute started up. Weibo going to bet no. Zika going to spot Tarzan on the side. Kyle going to charge forward. Arha throws up the shield, backs on away towards the rest of the team. Scab the weak lands onto Shanks. Zika still looking for an angle to get this fight started, looking to punish them inside this tight choke, but Shanks ghosts towards him and pushes him back away. Baron now down to half HP. Tarzan waiting over the wall. They're going to try to flip it. Tarzan is in there, going to try to back on away as the Magnet Storm comes down from Kyle, and the supreme display of talent finds 2. Baron falling lower and lower, smited on down, and goes the way of Tarzan, and AL with the rest of the members now ready to be cleaned up. Flandra has rejoined the battle. JJ just trying to buy space for the rest of his squad, but the Rek'Sai will hunt him down alongside Shanks. AL find the ace.
And you blink, Gordo, and the game's just over. It's a 7,000 gold lead. Look at how many towers there are left. This map control going to go fully over to AL. That was Weibo's chance. But the same way that AL can't burn the Baron too fast, neither can Weibo. They get wrapped around by Shanks. Flandra has time to come back, and there's just nothing that they can do. Now, look at these massive gold lead continuing to explode. Not only do Weibo lose the fight, but the fight is 4v5. And one of the biggest reasons this is there were no ults for Weibo. They used everything for the pick. Only ult was Zika, and he was chunked down, outranged, and now look at Rive.
Yeah, looking for another fight here. Arha will be finished off by the bullet time. And it is another 5 versus 4 for AL, and they're looking to collapse onto Xiaohu, full sending the entire crew towards the one member of Weibo who's been able to generate a little bit of gold for himself. And they will take down the last inner. Zika with a little bit of rage splitting up on the top side, finally going to TP over to try to rejoin his team. Will it be too little too late to save the base? Kyle absorbing damage like it's nothing. Kyle taken down below half. And they're not going to slow down here. They've still got the Baron at their backs. They're going to start to work on towards the final inhibitor turret, or this bot side inhibitor turret. Zika going to get focused on down. Hope going to be able to claim that kill. Inhib going to fall. AL have successfully busted open the base.
They're not even concerned with the Dragon at all. They know that the Ocean Soul has no impact on this game. They're 11,000 gold up. That Baron was the game. There's nothing Weibo can do. This is shut.
Yeah, they're going to try to close it on out here, waiting on a couple more cooldowns. Arha trying his best to front line. It's going to have to be something ridiculous from Elk and Xiaohu. EP in, here's Shanks with the Realm Warp. He's up a little bit too far. He's going to be the one they pull the trigger onto. Goes into the stasis, buys a little bit of time. Triple scatter the weak, found by Xiaohu. But the supreme display of talent to hold him down and buy time for Hope on the opposite side. Still, too much damage is found. Hope is the last one alive. He's going to try to end the game single-handedly, but there's 3 members of Weibo trying to chase him down. Hope going to flash back away. Arha with the unbreakable shield, holding it down. Well, Elk finds the shots he will drop at the end of the day, but the Nexus is defended by Weibo.
Well, they evened up the gold a lot. I thought that was it. I think that AL probably could have just ended the game. Hope could have probably ended blip in the radar of this series. And there have been a few blips, but AL back at live, full control. Weibo did not get the Dragon. 1,000 gold to Elk is pretty nice, but again, it's not going to mean anything. It's soul point for AL. Maybe they have to wait till next Baron. That's in a minute and a half.
Yeah, that was collector value for Hope, by the way. That's what causes Elk to fall on down there. But yeah, you know what? You get one of the top side.
Yeah, looks like it will be the Baron, unless AL can find an angle where Weibo make a mistake. I will say one good thing: there's been no awful Xiaohu TPs this game, and he's played pretty well. Right, 4-1. I don't think that this game is necessarily a Realm Warp. They're just going for the Nexus. Okay.
Oh no. Well, Tarzan and Shanks are here, and there's no stopping them. They're going to full send the squad to try to stop them, but Shanks is at full HP. They didn't even touch half of the backdoor crew, and therefore game is